Earning complimentary gifts is the most common winning strategy used by millions of slots enthusiasts. From giving away free slots play to food to free or discounted travel, casinos' loyalty programs give all kinds of free gifts. Every slots enthusiast has a gambling goal. Some have several. Earning comps is the second most popular, but because everybody gets comps, as complimentary gifts are often called, it's something every player has access to. We'll discuss how to make the most of them in today's live stream. And of course, I'll be taking your questions because this is a live stream, and the donations are rolling in already. I'm only saying that because, of course, the people who are live here now know it's a live stream, but you might be watching this after the fact. Hello to you watching this recording. Thank you for being here, and be sure to subscribe for notifications so you can have your questions answered the next time I do one of these. But either way, stick around and I'm sure it will be of value to you, even if you are watching this after the fact. But those of you who are live here now, thank you so much. If you have a question, please use #question. That's so I can be sure to spot your question to me instead of comments in the live chat to each other. It gets pretty busy with all the back and forth comments. Somebody asks a question and other people chime in and I answer it at the same time and people have comments, and if you're here you'll see a lot of that. If you're watching the live stream on YouTube instead of Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all the places that this is going out to right now, live, YouTube is where there's a lot of people who come regularly for the last November will be 2 years of live streams, of weekly live streams, or this year I started doing 3 a week months ago. And so getting to maybe 160, I could check, but it's something like that, maybe 158, eighth live stream. This is popular. So please use #question. This is a community video where people check in with one another about how things have been going lately. And let me share that banner for you, and it'll be across the bottom of the screen. Some of you might not be able to see it because it is, if you're on a small device like a phone, but there's a big screen. It's going to be big. So improve your slots performance in 30 days or less with my 30 days to play slots smarter and win online course. You also get 3 free valuable bonuses plus 1 month free to my Slots IQ membership, where you get community support and accountability and access to me and all the things that brings. The individuals there who are specialists in one particular area that you can ask questions of, as well as me. And so visit professorslots.com to learn more about the free bonuses, course content, and testimonials from participants. If you click the green button, you'll come to the sign-up page, and there's a sign-up page. And the course curriculum, the bonuses, all that is described here. So I want to acknowledge, make sure the volume is not too high. Okay. I want to acknowledge Chuck's donation. Thank you, Chuck. It is a super chat. So, so he says, "Morning all," and I also want to thank Magpie 11. Who has all these pithy comments in her super chat today. She says, "Winners expect good things." Absolutely. Yes, and good. So the largest group of gamblers are those that are there for entertainment value by gambling a small bankroll along with their friends for a fun night out. What is is that your gambling goal? You can have several, but that's the parking lots at casinos are just full of people that are just there to have fun, and whatever a gambler's goal is for visiting a casino, using a player's club card while gambling earns complimentary gifts that can include dinners, gifts, trips, and much more. But the overall level of comps depends upon the tier level of the player's club. But but not just that, but also how much an individual plays, as the casino measurement of a player's individual performance is called their average daily theoretical, ADT. I've gone over ADT extensively in past live streams. And good morning, everybody. And good morning, Kitty. The other two cats, the saboteurs, as Chuck has deemed them, were around earlier, and now I'm a little one's down in the corner underneath here, and Isaac is sitting under the desk. Just to sort of, when they get really quiet, I become very suspicious. So, some comps come with tier level, no matter what, while others are earned with a high ADT. So consider the typical annual cruise complimentary gift. An annual 3-day cruise for 2 people, that is to say 1 stateroom, are received by slots enthusiasts achieving the second to top tier level in most players' clubs. An annual 7-day cruise is usually gifted to players that reach the top tier. Cruises are an example of one of those, one of the most extravagant gifts within most players' clubs. Another is travel comps, like a 2-night or 3-night stays in Las Vegas, which, unlike cruise ship comps, often includes airfare, room credits, and perhaps a limousine to and from the airport. I've been on both cruises, multiple cruises awarded to me by the casino, which I enjoyed because there's a double occupancy rule. And so the first time I went by myself, and I wasn't charged for a second person, which I did not have with me. The second time, my sister had gotten divorced and she needed a break. So we went to the Western Caribbean, and she enjoyed things while I wrote my book. Outside of the sun, it burns. And I could tell that whole story, and it pictures and approved by my sister, and all of that were wonderful. These annual trips are earned by achieving a specific tier level within the casino's loyalty program. Now, a lot of you will know this, but stop, Isaac. What's going on? Hey. Isaac has joined the conversation. Apparently, I said something about Jamaica or something that he's like, okay, so there's either a squirrel out there or, squirrel. This is what having a dog is like. Right. So, there are blew my thoughts right out of my head. Annual trips are earned by achieving a specific tier level with the casino's loyalty program, but then there are other comps which depend entirely on ADT, such as how much free play is given. As high limit slots players visiting my local casino several times per week, I was getting $250 in free slots play twice a week, $500 a week. So, but that, compared to my usual bankroll of $2,500 on each trip 4 times a week, that free play was small, being only 5% of my weekly bankroll. So, what the point that I was trying to make before is that a lot of you are newcomers. Hi. and some of you may be new to slots and maybe new to comps, and so I need to give you the basics of what comps mean and what you might find. It's great to know what you might get, even if you're not at a higher tier, to help you understand whether or not you should go for it. And so that's kind of the reason some of this stuff, which might be a little mundane, for the advanced players who've been on my my live streams for like 2 years might feel. But we're going to move past this quickly. We're going to get into stuff that I found out as a top tier for a couple of years, and why I'm not there right now. They moved away, and I did too. But Horse Caesar's Rewards, where I was top tier, was moved away. So it was Canada was the nearest one, Caesar's Windsor, and my second one was Pinnacle, but they got bought out, and then the casino where that was happening was purchased by Boyd Gaming, and so I can explain that little background if necessary, but. $250 twice a week, being 5% of my weekly bankroll, it wasn't much. Yet it seemed like a waste if I didn't use it, even when each $250 was only good at certain times or days of the week. And because I thought it was a waste, my choice, the rewards program successfully brought me to the casino, which is the whole point of free play, to get that person to the casino. So I if I get a coupon, I have to use it, even if I don't want that. I'm trying to get away from that attitude. So for me, playing high limit slots is my personal play style, which I haven't had much time for since I was laid off as an aerospace engineer. Nowadays, I'm working on my business, helping slots enthusiasts, and most of you have something like a $300 bankroll. So that's what I use so I can see and understand and answer your concerns. Taking $10,000 on a casino trip doesn't help you. Taking a $300 bankroll and making the most of every penny does. But if you have high limit slots questions, feel free to ask them, because I've been all over it. If you're a high limit player, my personal experience will help you, because I know the answers to your questions, even some which you haven't yet thought of or experienced. Yeah, it was a wild ride, but low limit slots is mostly what you do. So that's what the business focuses on. So keep in mind also that complimentary gifts come in two kinds. Those that are owed you because it's listed in the Players Club brochure for your tier level, and those that are given because you've earned them with your slots play. Free food can be either. A trip to a burger joint, buffet, or fine dining might be a free gift you've gotten by putting your card into a casino kiosk and being awarded a voucher because your ADT is high enough to earn it. It used to be that we all had to ask for a free meal by talking with a host. And by talking, I mean arguing sometimes. I've seen those, and the host will give up and give the dinner even though it wasn't earned. And that's, it's just hard to see those sorts of things. So, one thing to make the host happier and give away less meals, all that. Casinos automated the process. They found that there's less arguing that way. So go to the casino kiosk and yell all you like. If you're given a host, someone assigned to you because you're in the top tier or possibly the next tier down, then you can ask them. My experience is they'll usually say yes. As my hosts have told me, food is easy, but there's another way food is free. You can use your accumulated reward points. So for every dollar you spend, you get some amount of reward points. Or it's kind of multiple things are going on with the Players Club card. You get you spend money, you get reward points. Some fraction of that, usually, how much money do you spend to get one rewards point is different from every program. Then how many reward points counts towards money back to you. Usually like 100 rewards points would be a penny. And it might be $5 to get a rewards point. So it's basically stacked. And you might get a free meal if you spend a free $100 fine dining meal if you spend $40,000 on a weekend, if you're a high limit player, that sort of thing, or you might get a dinner once a year. All this is part of your brochure, and all the different players clubs are got their own ranking. But you got money that can be returned to you. And what they usually do is the rewards points for spending the rewards points count for twice as much for food. And players like this because they feel like they're making their rewards points last twice as long. So free food is closer to free slots play than complimentary trips to a sister casino property with airfare included. But that's the usual range of gifts for most players. Exceptions exist, though, just so you're aware. Let's say players clubs offer an annual 3-day trip to their sister property on the Las Vegas Strip. There, you can use your tier status and reward points to receive truly special comps. I mean, I don't mean free shows. Of course, free shows. That's not the truly special ones. Although I got to tell you, I enjoyed going to Absinthe outside of the front of Caesar's Palace and using my status as a 7 stars, my 7-star status, to get a seat in the front row. Even though this Absinthe is kind of like a circus sort of event where everybody sits around and there's a stage in the middle. And so that was fantastic being in the front row. The Las Vegas Sun calls it the greatest show in Las Vegas history. That's how. But that's just a show. I was in the front row, and the actors interacted with me in a nice way. Although there is another way they interact where they tease an audience member, but that's not what they did with me. So anyway, delighted. But the special stuff, it's not shows I was referring to. I'm talking about UFC fights, normally going for $800 a ticket, or driving laps on a racetrack in a NASCAR. That'll throw your hair back. I've done the first, but not the second. Thought about doing the second, but I didn't realize, I would get like 3 laps and for all my points. And I was like, probably should have done it. As I have shared with other people, and if you're trying to decide whether or not to do something, ask yourself, would it make a good story? And that would have made a good story. I realized later. So to maximize comps, focus on tools needed to achieve a higher tier level. If you listen to my content and implement my strategies, your average daily theoretical is going to tank. Now that all casinos have adjusted their players club's ADT calculation to, they have too many in their eyes making a profit at slots. And it's only going to get worse and more as more and more find my content. But tier level comps are owed simply by being a member of that status tier. You'll still get them even if you're not gambling or if you're making a profit. And your ADT is nothing the casino would care about. Negative values, where positive is where you're paying your way and they know how much to spend on you. So focus on advancing your tier level and keeping that tier level depending on the players club reward rules. Of course, maximizing complimentary gifts is only for those that want and like comps. Some don't particularly care for travel. I mean, when I was doing all of this with top tier, they were offering me trips all these different places. I took the annual stuff, the cruise and the trip to Las Vegas Strip, but I didn't like every weekend. I could have been someplace. And yes, lots of people that I was with in the high limit room were also top tier, and they were going and talking about those things. But I had a day job. And not that much vacation time. So, that's one thing. And the food comps, frankly, some people are on a diet. I must have had $145 age steaks. And I had been a vegetarian, or rather non-red meat eater, just ate chicken, poultry, and fish, not red meat, for 20 years before I moved to Cincinnati. And, you know, I I I had a lot of beef growing up, and when I got to top tier status, I must have had, like I said, $145 aged steaks, and, uh, I caught up. But if you want comps, work towards advancing in tier levels. I also recommend that you target certain comps. Is the 3-day cruise what you want? Then you only need the second to top tier. If you want the 7-day cruise, that's going to require top tier status. It's also important to understand which comps are automatically provided. When might you be receiving free slots play trips and cruises? And how much of an investment is needed in each player's club at casinos near you? Because it's an investment. And which one do you invest in? Both? One or the other? So what comps do they have, and which ones would you rather have? One casino near me was downtown Cincinnati, and they would give out free stuff, free dinners to the local restaurants. But the other one, Belterra Park, is further down the river outside of town, and they don't even have an attached hotel to offer. And you know, the downtown Cincinnati casino didn't have a attached hotel, but there were hotels that they had to, you know, they offered those on snowy nights when everybody going home was dangerous. And they offered to everybody in the casino, but then at that point there wasn't many people in the casino. I thought that was a charming thing to do. So unfortunately, Players Club brochures often don't explain how many points are earned per dollar and what other comps might be earned. That's deliberate. If they make a change, they don't have to print out a new brochure if it never said exactly what the number was. They can change the numbers freely without somebody saying, "I have an old brochure saying this," and so it's all deliberate not to say. And while these marketing materials may list points to reach a tier level, it won't explain the maximum weekly amount of free play provided. For that information, you have to talk to other slots enthusiasts who are already at that tier level. But again, realize they may not be trying to make a profit. So their ADT means the casino is making money off of them. With your winning at slots, your situation will be different. Nevertheless, those are the players who will know stuff about, which the casino employees don't know or otherwise won't tell you. Improve your slots performance in 30 days or less with my 30 days to play slots smarter and win. You also get 3 free valuable bonuses plus 1 month free to my Slots IQ membership, or you'll get community support and accountability and access to me often, as all my members know. Visit professorslots.com/30 days to learn more about the free bonuses, course content, and testimonials from participants. This is the landing page. If you click the green buttons, you'll come to the sign up page, and there's descriptions there with course content and the bonuses available for you if you sign up. So let's take a look at questions. And hello and welcome, everybody. And thank you very much to the moderators for being moderators. I appreciate that. Hi, Cheryl. Good to see you. It's cool in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Yeah, the first day of what was it? Yesterday, the day before, first day of fall. Really felt like the first day of fall. In Southwest Ohio. Good morning, Serenity. Camilla. Hi, Camilla. Yes, Camilla, you know, I'm terrible at marketing. Please hit the like button. It would be great. And Paula says, Isaac, she thought it was a neighbor's dog. It might have been. I tried to take a look, but I couldn't see around my monitor to see my yard and see if it was a squirrel or there's a neighbor cat that sometimes walks by and sometimes he doesn't notice, doesn't wake up from his nap, and other times he's like, "Roar, roar, 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 roar." So welcome to my world. Hi, Chuck. And did you have a question? Remember to use hashtag question. And Chuck says, I gamble with my wife. Do casinos allow couples to use two of the same cards, like me using her card while she is using hers at the same time? Get this question all the time. It depends. If you go to Newport Gaming and racing in Kentucky, they say on the card, my card is downstairs, they say on the card that if you use someone else's card, you will be permanently lifetime banned, not from the casino, but from joining the club. Then you go to others and they say, yeah, sure, no, go ahead. And so you can both, get two copies of your card, and both your wife, your spouse, and you can use the same card. And then you could get the points on one card, and you have a trip, which is a +1 trip. And then you both go. But you have to ask the casino if it's okay. If you want to, call them so they don't know who you are, and in case it's like really bad or something, then call them and do it anonymously. But you have to ask, because it goes both ways. It's whatever they decide, and these are the sorts of things that's not usually listed on the brochure. I mean, if it's like illegal and they're a hard case about it, then they'll have it in there. But if they have it as illegal and, oh, you didn't know, okay, and you can't do that. It's just, you got to ask, casino by casino, or players club by players club. Good question, Chuck. Thank you for sharing. Thomas. Hi, Thomas. Free flights to casinos versus free cruises. Yes, for the free cruises, you still have to pay port. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. People like the cruises. And it's not just because if you're traveling alone, it doesn't have the double occupancy fee. But that was before the pandemic. And one of the cruise ships, people had plans that got canceled. There was people on trips during the pandemic, and then they weren't allowed off for a month. So that all got a big ding, and we'll have to see where the popularity ends, or whether it changed much because of that. And for Caesar's Rewards, the airfare was not included. Port fees were not included. I got a stateroom that was without a window. It was an interior room, which is tough on seasickness because you kind of have to see the horizon to not be sick. That's the typical cause. You can watch the horizon move up and down, and that actually helps when you don't know that you're moving, and you just hear the the water in the toilet practically splashing out, and you're like, wow. So upgrading from the $500 room, which was free, to a $1,500 room, because you went straight past getting a porthole, and went right directly to the balcony. So you might, have an extra $1,000 there that you have to pay in order to have a balcony, which I thought was great. Leave it open in the Western Caribbean, not so much open in the Alaskan cruise, which I just enjoyed so much. I'd love to do that again. And of course, then there's what do they call that? Excursions from the cruise ship. That's not free. And, I took a helicopter ride with a few other people to the top of Mendenhall Glacier, and 2 miles up, mile and a half up, is a mile and a half of ice beneath us, special clothing. The ice is so sharp because it's so dense, because it rolls under the. Anyway, I was just, I have, so there, when I do uploaded videos, there's things behind me, and one of them is rocks that I got from the glaciers that had been crushed down from boulders to little pieces like this. So you can look for those in the background in some of my latest videos. I'm excited about cruises, but I think that trips to casinos are better value. Better value, and versus more entertainment. Yeah. I hope that, what do you like? Uh, um, Chuck, it says to Chuck, most casinos do allow this. I Most but not all, and the downside is pretty severe when they don't. So check. It's easy enough just to ask the question. Yeah. Thomas, question. Some casinos I have access to offer free times play point. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And 5x players points that day. How valuable are they actually? So remember that, I mean, check the rules. It's usually in the fine print. They have mail flyers where they will earn 5x the points if you come in between these 2 hours or all day on this day, and you will earn 5x the points. But there's actually multiple point systems on a card. Remember, you spend a certain number of dollars. Let's say they spend $5 and you earn one reward point. And the reward point is used to determine what your tier level is. They're not talking about that. They're talking about the reward money. The certain number of reward points would earn you cash at 1/100th of the reward points, and that's what get multiplied. So you be very careful what they're multiplying, because and they'll be very excited about it and say 5x, and you go, if you don't realize that there's like at least two numbers on your card, uh, oh, why didn't I get to a higher tier? And that might impact whether or not you would even go to the casino. Uh, because that's valuable, absolutely. But is it what they're offering? So it it's all fine print stuff. Uh, if it's offering an increase in the reward points that would be counted towards going to your next tier, use that as much as possible. But if they aren't, um, then decide if you want to get a whole bunch more slots play dollars, which you can spend twice as many. The food is half the price if you use it that way, and so you can, that's your focus. So that's why I was saying focus on what you want, and then look at your offers to focus on what you want from that point of view. Yeah. Um, let's see. Thomas has a comment I will share with everybody. Just remember that if you each have your own cards, you both get incentives. So if you get to the top tier or whatever tier you're targeting with ease to get the things that you are targeting, the tier level that you want, then if you both get it, then you both get a 3-day cruise from the second to top tier, which has a +1. So each of you get a +1, which means you can take two friends with you so that the four of you can go to a cruise. There's get to know what you're looking for. But again, yes, also know what you want and target it. Yeah. So there's lots of comments. Yeah, lately someone was talking about. Okay. Sorry, Paula. Yeah. If like the TV is on and somebody honks at a news person giving a live report from somewhere, he thinks there's a car in the driveway and gets pretty excited. Yes, Serenity, yes, the MGM cards are linked. Combined play going forward, shared tier, separate slot points, but both can use reward points, comp dollars, especially helpful with recent change in rewards program. Absolutely. So there are some general things to say about players clubs, and this really isn't so much about individual players clubs. I have had live streams about individual players clubs, and certainly when I do my casino trip reports, uh, I talk about the players club that's at that casino. So if you go to professorslots.com here, and if you go to, can you see that, reviews, and you click on that, then I also have the return to players, but I also have casino reviews. And so if you go to Belterra Park, they have Boyd Gaming, and I talk about how many tier levels they have, and what is available on the brochure that I know about, that we all know about, and MGM. That's where I learned this year, in June, actually, about the changes in the MGM rewards system. And it was kind of difficult to get that information because there was only one person in the casino that knew about the changes, and all the other people were like, well, only one person knows because we're all kind of like learning. and and even though it had been 6 months. So like I said, employees, casino employees, you know, are supposed to know, but um, definitely, uh, uh, it's easier to talk to somebody who's a fellow slots player about the rewards program. Yeah. Hey, Jason, welcome. Jason likes firekeepers in Southwest Michigan, and so do I. Question from M. There's a question: is it true that raising the volume up all the way increases bonus chances? No. This is there's all kinds of things that are said about if you raise the volume. And so they've gone from one thing to another thing to another thing to another thing. Used to be better odds. It used to be, more bonuses seems to be the thing now. This is an attempt to get views. It's like the old emails about, how do I put this? The old emails about, they're going to start charging utility fees on sending emails. It's only going to be a couple of cents per email. Yeah, and if you have a business, of course, and people are like, tell everybody, and so there's hoaxes which don't have a link, and it's just like an earworm. It's becomes viral, and it attacks the system by having this viral spread. And then there's other ways of attacking people, of having a hack, of having this happen, which would be like including a link, which then physically hacks your computer. So yeah. It's not true, but isn't it interesting? It will never die. The person that came up with this, as a video creator, there is a method to a formula, a structure to create a viral video. And there's, things like using a number, which is like a really interesting number, 18,581. Why so specific? And the 8.1% that they talk about, when the version of this, which was talking about the odds improving, that was saying 8.1% better chances. And it's just like, what are you talking about? It was such a odd number. It must be true. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. This is pretty serious stuff. People believe this stuff, and I wonder how many people wasted money trying that. So I feel, it's kind of, you might say, no harm, no foul, but on the other hand, did somebody get convinced of this? And it's just how do you approach slots? But on the other hand, it's fun, I guess, sort of. But it's not viral videos or something that were popular about 15, 20 years ago, about 16 years ago. And that's what you did to become famous on YouTube, go viral. And since then, you actually have to do good work. I switched over to that. So yeah, congratulations on the guy, and that came up with that. I guess he's still at it. It works so well with the changing of the odds. Let's just improve our bonus chances. That's the whole point, making a buck. Sorry, he's making a buck off you. It's only a fraction of a penny, just a million times. Billabong 21. Good to see you here again. So use hashtag question, everybody, or my moderators will point that out. I hope you are great. Yep, sure. Yeah, I got stuff going on. Wow, it was yeah. Anyway, I have a question. What should a stop loss be when gambling if profit targets is 10%? Okay, uh, there's a few things going on here. Um, let's see. So I'm going to give you an answer which is going to be pretty unsatisfactory. 10%. Now, what did I mean by that? Oh, what did you mean by that? 10%. It's hard to answer a question when, 10% of the bankroll is the stop loss if your target is 10% profit. And that fails if your bankroll is $100 because that's the kind of the minimum amount you need to take to a casino these days. It used to be like a roll of quarters was great, but now it's like $100. But then you have people taking $10,000 where their stop loss is $1,000. And is that quite appropriate? It works best for somewhere between $100 and $10,000, the 10% stop loss. Yeah. And that's me. You can be more can be more conservative or more liberal. I am reluctant to tell people how much money to spend because it's their budget, not my budget, their budget. Yeah. Yep. And like I said, Chuck has a different opinion. He uses 50%, which is, all okay. Chuck and I have played the same machine, evaluated the same machines, and he's more conservative than I am. Yeah, in some ways with his gameplay. Lisa says I was walk away from a slot if it has no volume. Anyway, yeah, it's we've spent like 5 minutes talking about it, which was the whole point of making that video. Yeah, M. Grayley, because we're still talking about it. How you do the element of a viral video is for people to go, well, it could be, and here we are 5 minutes later. Yeah. Yeah, save on your ears, right? The high volume is like really loud. Lots of absolutely. So Thomas is making a comment about buses coming into casinos with groups of people, maybe from retirement homes, maybe from other communities, other casinos. Some buses come in from one casino because they offer it as a comp to go to their sister property, which might be 100 miles away, a couple hours drive, and all that vanished because, yes, the price has gone up. Yeah. Now we're talking about how we're sing along to Wicked Wheel, Hot Stuff Baby, and then Chuck was saying I sing along to Little Shop of Horrors machine. Serenity says, "Glad I'm not the only one." Oh, what a great group! What a great group of people. And then Thomas was saying, "Sing the China Shores." coins, flying notes in my in my sleep. You may have played a little bit too much. Question. I'm linked to hubby, MGM player. Some recommend unlinking if each person is an equal player. Example, getting 8 nights for each instead of 4 total free play. How do you know if this is best for me? Um, uh, so, so if you have one card uh, and you are both playing on it, uh, you would get, if you had separate cards and did the same thing, then you and your husband would each get free play of half the value if you played equally. But if he spent twice as much or won half as much as you, then because he gave more money to the casino, but you took more money home, then he might get much higher free play and you might not get any. Where if it's combined, you might get some number, ADT. So you can, if you have gambling records and you each keep your own set, then you know who's doing what, who's making a profit, who's not making a profit with their slots play. And of course, as the household, you can combine them and do what you need for income tax preparation that way. But if you have a better idea of, I've worked with so many paid consultations with couples where one of the couples is a winner and the other couple is not a winner, and they play with the same amount. And so one of them would get, it kind of cancels out if they had one card and no free play. But if you can't, but if you separate and one does win, then they don't get any free play, which is what was happening. But then the second spouse loses, and so now you get free play. Well, one of you does. So, but all that is based on knowing how you're doing. Are you making a profit? Are you not making a profit? And right now it's all combined, and you need to sort out, what each is doing. If you're both making a profit, then you're sunk. You're not going to get free play. But if one of you, if one of you is not making money, then you'll get free play. But for as long as that happens, and until you fix it, so you both make a profit. But this is all kind of like knowing what's happening going on. You can't measure if you don't track. You don't know what's happening unless you keep a record. Yeah. Thanks, Billabong. Try to keep things out non-political. Chuck, in your opinion, is it worth linking or playing a one card? If you are both winning a profit, no. You can. If you have friends that you want to take on a cruise, and you had 2, then you could each take one of them and you could go as a group of 4. But it's not about free play if you're both winning. Now, if you're both losing, then you can have the combined card and you'll get the same amount of free play. If you separate them, you each get half as much, and that's because you're all losing that much. The interesting part about is it worth linking or not linking is if one of you, as I was just saying, if one of you wins and one of you loses, there's an advantage there where you can start, getting free play. And what if, you watch my content, listen to my content, and one of you, figures stuff out and the other does not. And then, for a while you can make make some free play money. And other than that, you'll still go up. Like I said, there's the ADT calculation about the additional stuff that you get that is not listed on the brochure. They might say you'll get free play, but they don't say how much. But they would say a cruise, and they would say it was a 3-day or 7-day. So there's stuff that's owed you for the tier level. And do you want to raise in tier level? And would it be even possible if you were to have separate cards? But if you have, put two cards into, both of you using the same card, and you blow past the top tier level, and you're like, well, we could have gotten there twice. Well, then, next season, each have an individual card, so then you can both get the top tiers. Kind of, we can talk about this, but it depends on what your goal is, where you're at, and kind of what's going on. Yeah, it's not a cut and dried answer. Magpie, she's on top of it. As a high limit player, at least occasionally, or a lot of low limit playing, if you happen to be, I don't know, in Las Vegas, she commented, when I start getting calls from my hosts asking about upcoming trips, I know the business is starting to slow. Yeah. Hey, did you know that you get a free trip? Hey, did you know you get a free trip to our sister property in Las Vegas Strip? We just want to make sure, it might be something that you're just not using, or it might be something that they actually offer you, and, get you to Las Vegas any way possible. Be a waste if you didn't use that coupon, right? Yeah. Thank you for saying such nice things about America. And Pin to Black. Hey, welcome back. Tried combining cards recently at Pachanga, sorry. Found out recently that this casino does not allow cards to be combined, right? Could be either way. Do you happen to know they have their own rewards program? I don't believe I've ever heard that they're like operated. They're a type of casino in California. They're not operated by like one of the big chains. So I assume they have their own rewards club, and I'd be interested in knowing what the name of that is. Or am I wrong? Is it a Caesar's Rewards property? Not property, but operator. The tribe owns it, but somebody, it's like Harrah's in North Carolina. The tribe owns it, but the casino, they hired a casino operator. And lots of questions coming in. Thomas, thank you. Keeping written notes, referring them to my computer really helps me know what and where I am winning, losing, helps take some emotion out of gambling choices. And if you go to, let's see here, let's do that. I do have a tool, and I tried to tell everybody. It's one of the type. Scroll down. Okay. So if you go to courses.professorslots.com, I have my course on, it's a very small course. It's $37, 7 gambling record secrets. I'll tell you one right now. Free play is not taxable income. Again, read the fine print on a mail flyer. It'll say right there. So that's not taxable. Okay, 6 more you can read about and see, and I discuss in this course. There's also, it's especially important for this. There's a free course on keeping track of comps. That is something that it's included as a bonus in the 7 gambling records secrets. Let's do that. This is the bonus that I was telling you about. In the gambling records, keeping gambling records, there's templates that I offer, spreadsheets in various formats. Everybody will be able to access some of them, even if without Microsoft Excel. The simple one is for the U.S. IRS what they're asking for, and the advanced one is for gameplay analysis as well as the IRS requirements. And in between is sort of like, well, I get hand pays. Well, how do I handle hand pays? And so it's this is all included in the $37 and with the downloads. So yeah, then it was on sale for a week. I just put this up maybe 2 weeks ago, and made it available 2 weeks ago. And you're welcome to take a look. But the one that is free is the comps record keeping. So have at it. So I don't know if Flip is here anywhere, but Flip, I joked with him. He said after meeting me, he got 16 hand pays in the last couple of months because of my content. And that it helped him. And I joked with him, and I said, "What, a $20 tip would kill you?" And then right at the end, after I kind of like finished the live stream, but I hadn't shut off the chat. It's just about to. He made a $99.99 donation. So I want to say thank you to Flip for that donation on a prior live stream, which I did not acknowledge because the live stream was sort of over at that point. Yep. Let's see. Next question. If you have a question, all these comments are awesome, but if you don't have, if you have a question, then I need to know. Because otherwise you're kind of like responding to other people in the live chat. So Magpie at least use the hashtag, or is it hashtag little? Little known tip. When signing up for a new rewards card, ask if the casino tier matches other player. Yes, this live stream is not about players clubs, it's about comps. But one of the things you can do is when you go to a new casino and sign up for the players club, take your other casino's players club, the whatever the one that has the highest tier level, and say, can I get a probationary lift to the next level? If you're 7 stars, Flip. Hang on. If you go to the next, if you're like a Caesars Rewards top tier 7 stars member, and you go to a casino you've never been to before and sign up for a players sign up. I'm trying to ignore you, Flip, for just a second more. If you sign up at that new casino, show them that you're 7-star status at Caesars Rewards or MGM or whatever, and they will make you second to top tier on a probationary basis, and basically under the expectation that you will prove to be true. It'll fall away in 6 months if you never come back, but they want to satisfy people that they have accomplished top tier in other players clubs. Yeah. That's big time tip. Yeah. Thank you, Magpie, for mentioning it. Artie says, can't you request your win-loss ratio from your casino so you file your taxes better? No. I mean, yeah, you can ask for it, but the IRS doesn't want your win-loss ratio. I mean, if you get audited, it's kind of like, well, include it. What the IRS wants, and they're really adamant about this, what they want are your wins and your losses, and they'll do their own subtraction. If you read between the lines, it's like they don't say this, but they say, thank you very much. We'll do our own subtraction. Thank you very much. And steely eyed sort of looking at you. I'm reading between the lines on the at irs.gov. It might help like bank receipts or something with if you're audited, but that's not part of the regular preparation. And too many people think so. And players clubs are not regulated. Whatever your players clubs does, maybe Maybe it says everything. Maybe it doesn't say everything. Um, when I was doing, when I before the Caesar's rewards, before the horseshoe near me was bought, I was getting reports that were just telling me what the difference was. Am I making money or am I losing money? Not how much money did I win and lose, and therefore subtract and have the difference. They were just telling me what the difference was. And IRS is just like, this is no good. So, my goodness, Flip, thank you so much. Uh, yeah, thank you. The donations help very much. As Paula says, flipping awesome. As Mel says, cool flip. And Magpie says, flip rocks. uh, flipped that tip trick. Awesome. Quick, that tip quick. Well, one of the things I don't do is enough of is share how to make a a tip, and I'm told that I should be doing this more often, and all of that. So I will see if I can try to find a way to share with you. This is the window for live chat on YouTube. And if you press the dollar sign here, where is it? Why is it not showing up? Ah, I've got too much going on. I'm sorry. There is a dollar sign normally located at the bottom of the live chat. And if you click on that and you have a credit card or debit card attached to your account. And last time, Flip figured it out without instruction from me. I should like prepare a couple of images and just show it. I for a long time, I wasn't advertising on my live streams, but now I'm kind of like mentioning the paragraph about the courses, and because we're talking about comps, there's a comps course, and so yeah, and so I'll put together some slides so that people know how to give because people want to give and donate. Thank you, Flip. Again, thank you. Question, Pinta Black. Is there such a thing as trying too hard to win? In 2020, I won 5 hand pays, not knowing your strategies, maybe using location only. Since then, I haven't been able to get any tips. Well, 2020 is a long time. Did your casino like build a hotel? Is this at one casino? Is what changed? Did it go under new ownership? Uh, what's different? I'd be interested to know if nobody else at your casino is winning. Because you're saying, you, but is it you or is it everybody? They might have made a change. Also, I try to be very careful to say, if you're winning, keep doing that. Keep doing that. Don't let me interrupt. Because some people are in the zone, and explaining how things work. Hey, man, if you're good at throwing a baseball for the major leagues, don't let me get in the way. But if you feel that you could be a better pitcher working on your mechanics, then you need to talk to experts. And it's kind of a tough call on what's going on. I don't know. If you're kind of lost being in the zone, and why? Was it me? Was it something else? Or is it completely on the casino side? I'm tending to think it's completely on the casino side. Some people learn from me why they win in Iowa and don't win in Iowa and do win in South Dakota, because they're on the corner between those two states. And I explain it, and they're just like, oh no, now they know the legal requirements for the casinos, and I hate messing up if that's if that's what actually happened, if it was me, or whether or not it was just understanding that this is why some of the stuff that they were seeing makes sense. Yeah. Uh, so I'm going to assume it's a casino. Uh, have you really been much since 2020? I assume before the pandemic, early 2020. And have you gone back? The casinos were put through the ringer. So it's quite possible they are just like, we're not going to be doing what we did before, and and this uh, this is a casino made changes because this is not an ordinary last 2 years. The last 2 years are extraordinary in a lifetime of casinos in the last 130 years since slot machines were invented in San Francisco by Charles Fay. And it was just extraordinary this last couple of years. So yeah, the casino's changed, and maybe it'll come back to that. Mel, that's yeah. I didn't want to mention that as well, but if you keep your own records, you can. That's why one of those elements in that course says, as the IRS directs us, where did you go? Was it to the convenience store where you bought $1,000 worth of megabucks because it was going to hit or something, and you hoped it would? Well, you can't just say it was a Pilot or some truck stop brand name. You have to say which one. If you are going to more than one casino, if you're lucky enough to be near more than one casino, then you put down what you won and lost at each casino. But when you get the report from the win-loss statement, first of all, if it's just the difference, that doesn't help the IRS, doesn't help you with the IRS. But if, let's say, they do give the difference, then you have to sum them up, and you can't. It's a little harder to do that. So keep your own records, even if it's handwritten. The IRS just trusts you, and they don't trust casinos. Yeah. Flip, man, you blew my mind today. Admittedly, lately it's been easy to blow my mind, but thank you. Thanks for your hard work and dedication to sharing your slot machine counter strategies. I won my first 10K hand pay this morning. Thank you for the donation. I'm so happy for you. Good luck. Awesome. Question. I know off topic, but have you comped a pet-friendly home in Reno? Yes. I also found homes. So for those of you who may not know, I'm moving to Nevada. When am I moving to Nevada? By the end of the year, possibly 3 weeks. So I have one dog and 3 cats. I've learned that my dog, who is like a year and a half old, golden retriever, he will sleep and he will kick his legs as though he's running, and he'll kind of go, "Roof, roof, roof," in his sleep, and his tail will wag, like aggressively wag. And that's only been happening since he met the neighbors' kids and has been playing with the neighbors' kids, and he just loves kids. And so my sister has adopted my younger sister has adopted my older sister's grandchildren, 2 of them, and they are 9 and 6. And so I'm going to give up Isaac to that family, and he's just going to love those kids all the days of their life. And also, they're going to take Kiri. She's going to take Kiri. And otherwise, I have my 2 saboteurs who I feel a little ambivalent about. I'm still working on finding out what to do with them. Yeah, Benji, isn't that right? Yeah, the NASCAR racetrack, I'm just blown away. James, a random comment, just finished your book on Amazon. Thank you for, one person a day is buying it. It's been great lately. Security, Rivers in Illinois has a metal detector. I could set off bells and whistles, and they told me which jacket pot held my forgotten box cutter. How many times have I lost my penknife walking into not casino, airport security? Oh, I didn't realize. I had a dryer sheet in my back pocket one time, and they found it. I'm like, oh, it's a dryer sheet, and they looked at me, and I'm like, oh, sorry, and which it's all very serious. It's all very serious. Yeah. Magpie says, in reviewing my records, I had bigger hand pays last year, but smaller ones this year. Yeah, yeah, right. Casinos can keep people happy by giving them wins, but not as much. And that is something that if you aren't tracking, you might say, well, I got this many hand pays this year and I got that many last year. We're good. Not realizing that they were half the amount on average one of those years, like this year. And that's the sort of thing that can help you see the trends. Yeah. Make sure you hydrate here in Nevada. So dry here in Vegas. See, I have been. I prefer the 4th of July, and one time I took my sister, flew her in from Detroit when I came in from Cincinnati, and my goodness, she wanted to do 15 miles of walking per day because she had to get her steps in. I'm just like, in the desert? It's like 115 degrees today and 4th of July. It's lots of fun, says question. Car lease for a year. Belltower Park had a car lease for a year. And people, you know, didn't have a car because they had the lease. And as it became more difficult to win there, they had to up how much they were spending. And so they were locked into, if you want the car, you're going to have to get to tier level. And some of that was kind of like getting harder and harder and harder as each year would go by. Yeah. Okay, car lease for a year, multi-day cruise ships. What are other great comps you have heard about, we should look for, aim towards, or ask about? Well, I'm going to switch this up a little bit. I got 3 top-end bread makers, and I prefer to knead my own dough. Paula, do you still have one I gave you, right, for Christmas? And my sister, my aforementioned sister, and one went to, a charity donation. When you start getting some of these gifts, you take a spare bedroom and you fill it. But regifting some of these tips, and how many grills do I have? I have a George Foreman grill, and I have the other one. It's whatever the casino promotions counter can think of that people might want. Do we barbecue in Southwest Ohio? You betcha. So I've got a gas grill. I've got a charcoal grill. It's what they give you. The things that you might also what you might want to watch out for is upgrading. So they often have a promotion and say, if you only spend this much more, get this many more rewards points, then you are eligible to not just receive the 27-inch TV monitor, but the 47-inch TV monitor, or you can get right now the 47. It's like, let's make a deal. You can get the $47-inch monitor, but you can get the 57 if you only do this. And if you look at it, the amount that they want you to spend is 3 or 4 times going out to a local appliance place and getting it on your own. So don't get caught up in the hype too much. Sure, it's bragging rights. Yeah. I hope that helps. Right. Cosmo has been bought by MGM. Yep. As well as 7 other properties on the Las Vegas Strip, additional properties. They already had MGM on the Las Vegas Strip, and this all happened last year. Signs haven't gone up yet. It takes a while to order them. So if you are higher tier, you can ask for stuff. That was always my problem. What do I ask for as a top tier? Because they were like, what do you want? And when you are top tier, then your host really wants to know, really questions you about what comps do you want. And I'm like, what do you got? Because I was like opening day baseball tickets to the Cincinnati, Reds. And they were like, oh, well, we only, those are really hard to get. And I'm like, okay, not high enough within the top tier. Can I get tickets to the game? Sure. Can I get box tickets to the game? Sure. Can I get tickets to the new restaurant they made out in left field for the All-Star game that has a view of the river? And they're like, yeah. And I gave those to my immediate superior at my job because his wife was higher up in engineering and would receive gifts, the special glass window viewing area between box seats and this other thing that I got. And I thought I'd give it to him because I was a little bit concerned his wife was kind of like putting the screws down, if that makes sense. And so I gave him that, and they both went, and he came back and he was like, thanks. Because nobody got that. But I got that. Other times I took my boss, my technical lead. That's who that was. Oh, by the way, I did get a promotion that next time it came through. I'm sure it's completely unrelated. But anyway, moving on. But Walt, who has been here on the live stream like a month ago, who checked in, I took him to the casino and got him free Reds tickets. So you can ask for stuff, but for me the tricky part was like, what do I ask for? Local restaurants that you might not know the casino has a deal with, so that you can get tickets or free dinners, fine dining at those casinos. It's like it's not on the casino property. Doesn't matter. They might have a deal set up. They have all these brand deals set up, and those are there. Now, you have to have, back when they had hosts that were available in an office for people that didn't have hosts, right? They didn't have kiosks yet. This is just only a couple of years ago. I was in that office as a top tier, talking to the host about, stuff that I wanted to discuss about, et cetera, and get knocks on the door. And, she would look and big glass door, and she'd look, and then she'd go on talking with me. And I'm like, do you need to get that? And she's like, they just want the shrimp dinner. They just want the shrimp dinner. And it wasn't a top tier or anything like that. They're just, will ask and ask and ask and ask until they get it, because that's what they do. And nowadays that's all, talk to the kiosk about that. So you can ask for stuff, but understand where the limits are, I think, and treat casinos employees well, because they can provide information that you might not otherwise get. So they're valuable, and don't burn your bridges. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just trying to let you guys know. Yeah, they will be so spoiled. um, um, uh, Paula, I don't recall what else you might have gotten as comps. I prefer regifting, not leftovers. But if you want that George Foreman grill, I think you're going to be like visiting soon. I'll be happy to hand it over to you. Either that is going to be donated. And I got a chip dip tray that's in the background of my uploaded videos, that sort of thing. And so exactly. Uh, improve your slots performance in 30 days or less with my to um, 30 days to play slots smarter and win. If you also get 3 free valuable bonuses plus 1 month free to my Slots IQ membership, where you'll get community support and accountability. Visit professorslots.com to learn more about the free bonuses, course content, and testimonials from participants. One of those free bonuses are my gambling record templates, not the course, but rather the Excel spreadsheets, and these are the formats that are available. And I also sell those for $17 out on my website. But the course is $37 because there's 8 lessons, and that's courses.com. That courses.com, courses.professorslots.com, where you'll find both the course, the free comps record keeping, and the 7 gambling records secrets. Okay. That's it. What a great live stream. You'll see me in my next live stream on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. In the meantime, I highly recommend you watch this video on my challenge to you to do this one free thing at your casino to win more